Hey guys, Phil Monteleone, the Book Peddler, coming to you with another YouTube video. If you haven't, go ahead, like and subscribe to the Book Peddler YouTube channel. You can stay up to date on book picks, in-store, out-store activity, business selling experiences. This is all concerning my life as a used bookseller in the sticks of upstate New York. I own and operate 2 brick and mortar shops, sell online. I've been doing it now for 10 years. So basically, go check out the other videos in the channel. I'm starting this kind of series where I'm answering people's questions. There's a lot of people out there that aspire to open up used brick and mortar bookstores. And I get questions all the time, and I figure maybe I'll start putting out some videos addressing these questions. And I did a previous video, which I'll link up. This is video number 2, and I'll have number 3 coming next week, because if I did these all in one video, it'd be way too long. So I want to make them somewhat digestible. And if you'd like to support the channel, you could buy books off my eBay store. You could share it and like it. All that stuff helps. You could also donate to my Buy Me a Coffee fund linked in the description as well. All the proceeds go to my in-shop coffee for my customers. Not expected, always appreciated. Thank you for those who have donated. Much appreciated. Couple announcements before I begin. This Tuesday, December 10th, I'll be doing a live stream at 7 p.m. And it's going to be for you guys to pick out books for my next and last Whatnot show of the year, my Christmas Whatnot show. All bids are $1. So you can bookmark that on your calendar if you would like. You go there, do that now. It'll be in the links. And you can join me for an hour or so. Second announcement, my buildings are closed for the winter. There's snow on the ground. It's cold. I'm done. So I will be around, still working, of course. But I'll see you in spring for those who didn't have a chance to come in this year, or for those who are looking to come back. I'll be back in spring. And I believe that's it for my announcement. So without further ado, let's get started. I try to keep these under 20 minutes and make them somewhat more digestible. I have my notes here. So Joey wrote to me a while back, and Joey runs an online bookstore currently. He has aspirations and dreams to open a physical, used, vintage, antiquarian, indie bookstore. And he's looking how to increase his clientele, get people excited about books and appreciate the value of rare books, how to keep people coming to his page. So he sent me his Facebook page to review and for me to give my ideas on it. And he wants to be a successful bookseller. And the little second part is, one of the biggest reasons why he wants to be a successful book dealer is because a lot of people don't think he can do it. He wants to prove them wrong. And I can relate to that a lot. I've used that as fuel that continues to drive me forward in being successful. And if I may, Joey, you'll, at least for me, I would hear the murmurs. A lot of these people, I think, are dissatisfied with their own lives, to be quite honest with you. A lot of people are working menial jobs and they don't have a way out, or they don't think there's a way out, basically. Like Thoreau said, people live quiet lives of desperation. And it's pretty unfortunate, but I've always used that as fuel. We're all like seeds, right? We all have all the potential in the world, I think, to do what you want in this world. And there's usually key factors preventing people from doing these things, maybe laziness, fear, and some people's situations are a little mucked up, But a seed grows strong with resistance, and you're going to find a lot of resistance. So continue to let that drive you and attack your goals aggressively and let that fuel you. I have a little sympathy for these people in certain senses, because they're seeing you do and put in effort into something. And I think that they know deep down that they're capable of doing it, but they never took that leap. You know what I'm saying? So we all have potential. And unfortunately, I've been doing this for 10 years, man. And I still have friends and people that aren't as engaged with my business. And to be like, hey, maybe you should drive truck for some extra money. And, or, hey, I could get you a job here. You'd be a great, salesman or a great waiter, whatever it is. And it's like, no, I'm a bookseller. Like, don't you see? My bills are paid. This is how I'm making money. I'm growing. But they're well-intentioned. So, I try not to be too rough with them. I just kind of smile and keep doing my thing. So, Joey, use it as fuel. Continue to let that fuel you. And the resistance is a good thing. So I thank them people just as much for making me successful. Now, I'm probably not the perfect person to ask about Facebook and social media sites, but I did write my thoughts on it. So when it comes to Facebook and Instagram, I try to post once a week, and I would do a lot of cross posting. I could be doing much more with it, but that's what I've been doing now for a while. I said to him that Facebook is becoming a little bit antiquated in terms of if he's looking to reach the youth. There's always these new platforms coming up like TikTok and things like this. That's not really my cup of tea. But if you want to reach the youth, maybe figure out how to grow a social platform like that. People do seem to be having a lot of success with that. Again, it's not a one size fits all. So go what you're comfortable with. Facebook reaches, there's more of an older demographic that's more engaged with that. So that's why I like it, because the majority of my customer base is an older demographic, and it's worked out well for me. What's interesting about Facebook is the ads that they want you to pay for promotion. I used to get a lot of subscribers coming into the fold in the first 6-7 years. Then I noticed I wasn't getting many subscribers at all, so I had to do some creative things to continue to grow that. Now, one of the things I would do, which I want to get back to doing, is giveaways. So I would allot books together, like Amish books or children's books, 10, 15, 20. I would say, listen, if you guys want these books, share the page. You'll be entered into a live giveaway. Then you can run your live giveaway through Facebook if you would like, and pick a name out of the hat and ship those books for free. That expense is far less than paying for ads on Facebook. And people tag people in it. And you grow, I grew my following really well just doing a couple giveaways. And I am going to get back to that for sure. But that's one little thing that may help, and so that you don't have a ton of money going out. Now, I don't know how close you are to opening your brick and mortar store, but what I would say too that I did was I put the word out that I'm starting my shop. And I didn't have material necessarily to show people at the time. I did, but I didn't. But what I would do is show them the process of me building my shop. So building the shelves, planing the lumber, stuff like this, putting it into motion and getting people to come aboard the journey, so to say. That's what I was doing. That seemed to work well. And I'd recommend you do the same. So let me check my notes here a little bit. Now, Joey also is an author. I recommended that he keeps both of these entities separate from each other. But when I bought my new building, what I did a lot this year was I posted on my old page about the new building to try to pull people over to that, which is fine to do, but I would keep them separate. I wouldn't run both on the same page personally. Now, the reason why I post once a week is because I don't want to burn out my followers. I know guys who post 6 times a week, and some people will tell you to do completely opposite of what I'm saying, and they may be correct, but every situation's different. You do what you're comfortable with. You experiment how you want to. I give you permission to, okay? But certain things are going to work out, certain things aren't. For me, I was always aware that when I saw somebody's post 6 times a day, I would tune out of it after a while. I'd become disengaged and stop following it because I was tired of seeing it. So for me, I want to make my posts worth it. When I really have something to say or a real special book to show, or I need a call to action to be able to get that strong engagement and get those shares out there. So that was my mentality. Now, the other side of that is, yes, okay, you want to keep relevant, you want to keep in people's minds. So that kind of posting, I'm not knocking it. It's just not my style. That's all. So let's see what else I wrote here. But that was the main thing for me about the once a week and just doing run of the mill posts. I wanted to make it count and make it more special. Okay, I talked about that. And yeah, I think Facebook is turning into more of a pay to play. They want you to pay for these ads. So what I would also say is a couple months before you're going to do your big opening, have some money put aside to run ads through the Facebook. You could select the demographics and everything and try to get the right eyes on your page. So let's see what else. Consistency is key. That was something I put in here. One thing that I've noticed also is when I get the most engagement is between 12 and 1. That seems to be my sweet spot. So I always try to post within that time frame. Might not be a bad idea to select a couple days and consistently post on those days, like every Tuesday, 12:30, something like this. And there was something else I was going to say, and now I'm slipping a bit. So also I'd make clear of who you are. You accept donations. You do buy collections, however you want to say it. That's what I would do. That's how I kind of set up my page. And I also link everything together. So my YouTube channel is linked on my Facebook. Everything's cross-linked. Everybody has different tastes and different social pages that they like to interact with. Some people like Instagram better. Some people like this better. So for me, it gets a little overwhelming. I always try to add something new or refine something different every year, and that seems to work. I only take on what I believe I can handle, and sometimes I haven't been able to handle it, and it kind of slips away, but that's my approach to kind of social media and specifically to Facebook. So, Joey, I wish you the best of luck out there. I appreciate the questions. You're an Italian in Utah, so good luck to you, my friend. I hope they're feeding you good. I don't know what that looks like, but the struggle could be very real for you. So good luck, but I do wish you the best, and keep driving, keep going forward, and get that momentum going in the wheels rolling. You're gonna be fine. So, all right, next question. Shout out to the Letter in the Leaf in Camden, New York. I'll link up a card in the corner here to their page, their startup book business. And I combined his question with other people's questions that were very similar. And what it had to do with was cataloging, POS systems. And I've never talked about this before either. So I figure, here we go. Basically, when it comes to cataloging, I don't catalog. And I know that may sound sinful to a lot of booksellers out there, but I don't do it. I treat my eBay store as my catalog. I tend to view cataloging, and not to knock it, it's just personal preference, as a bit unnecessary and antiquated in certain ways. So that's kind of my view on cataloging. I think that if you have real special books, that's better. If you're putting out a catalog for your bookstore to sell direct, obviously that's a great thing. I may do that in the future. I like the idea of that at least, but cataloging each individual book and entering it into a system, it does take a lot of time. And I'm just not interested. My time is spent elsewhere doing things I think are creating more value for myself and more profitability. And but again, a lot of people I know still do it. Excuse me one moment. So, like, for tax purposes, what I'll do, because I don't like catalog every book for insurances and taxes, you can do estimated amounts. So if I go on a pick, I'm going to tie in a couple things with this. If I go on a pick, I'll say, okay, I purchased 1,000 books and I paid X amount, and my mileage was this. You keep track of all these things. Then you can figure out kind of on average what your costs are per book. What I also do is for listings, and this is good tips for beginners out there, I would label, and now again, I don't do this anymore, just to be clear, but I think it was a very beneficial thing to do, but I don't do it anymore for a number of different reasons. I would label the pick. So if I was in Otsego, New York, I would do OBP, Otsego Book Pick, and put it in the listing, right? Also next to it, I would put where to pick the book when it sold, if you're online selling, or where it was in the shop to go pull it. So then I would put maybe A1. I know A1 is all my fishing and hunting and firearms books, and the one is the first shelf it's on. Some type of code so that you know your profits that you're making if you made a good buy and if it was worth the time. And then you also have smooth transitions to pick and pack your book and get it out the door. What I had to do, and I'll address it in my next video, is a complete reorganization of my online listings. I had thousands of them, and it took a lot of time to do. I'd recommend you do it earlier, because once you start getting up a mass quantity of listings, you're not going to be able to find everything. I was very good at finding stuff, but once I hit like 2,500, then things became a little bit whatever, So another thing that you'll see a lot of book guys do is date their books on the end page, or you could date them in the listing as a part of that code. So you'll know how long something has sat, and maybe you'll come off your number a bit. It also brings awareness to popular or unpopular titles and genres, and it's a way to maybe curate your shop better. So if these books are sitting forever and they're taking up real estate, then you make a decision as to what to do with it. Slim it down or get rid of it altogether, or put it in a box under and label it. And if somebody's looking for those particular books, then you can pull them out for them. However you want to address that. So like data gathering is definitely important. What it did for me was, though, it just reinforced my confidence that I'm buying properly. I did this for 3 or 4 years doing the labels. I never lost. I know what I'm doing at this point, or could confidently say I know what I'm doing to some extent. And so I just kind of did away with that, because there's other data I gather that I think is more important, to be quite honest with you. So let me see here. Covered that. So POS systems. I don't use them. Again, I do know systems that book dealers use. One of them is called Bookhound. It's an inventory management program that you guys could Google and check out. And I was also asked, like, do I enter each book on each platform? And do I write receipts in the shop? How do I do that? Now, I do write receipts. I'm a cash business. I am going to get a credit card system, predominantly because I want to do book shows around the country at some point. Start in New York, work my way around the East Coast a little bit, go do some Southern shows. So I will need to have a credit card system. I've got away for a while without doing it. I do accept PayPal, Venmo, and check, but I'm a small business. I've always been a cash business, and I don't use a POS system. There was also mention on cross listing. As I said, now on one site, and there are many, but one site is called InkFrog, and you do have to pay monthly subscriptions, but you can select as to what cross listing system is probably going to work best for you and what sites that they're compatible with. Now, me personally, my idea was build one site, grow it, expand it with that, and then maybe take on another one. So I saw on Amazon, used to ship boxes of books to them, do the FBA. There's multiple reasons why I stopped. I don't like Amazon. That's not to say in the future I may get back onto it, but not now. I'll do it on my own time and when I'm situated for it. The structure of my business changed. So eBay is the sole thing, and that's where I want to invest my time and energy. And I don't think there's any necessarily one site better than the other. Somebody might take less fees or this, that, and the other. I think you can select a site, promote it through your websites or through your socials, and grow it. Whatever it is, if you put your time into it. So that's with my views on cross listing. And we're hitting the 20-minute point. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Listen, I appreciate you spending the time with me. It's always a pleasure. And I wish you all the best of luck out there that are trying to do this business. My next video is going to touch on some things that I've mentioned before in the past, having to do with kind of how I've switched around my mentality of doing this business and how it's progressed me. And I think you guys will really enjoy that and find some good gems in that as well. But I'll put that out this week. Guys, you can like, subscribe, consider donating, and join me live on Tuesday, where we'll have a little party in here with old Bookman, and you can select books for my Whatnot show. I hope you have a great weekend. Take care, everybody. I'll see you next time.